Hey guys, I thought I'd just do a quickie video on I'm making me a new instrument panel, custom. Most guys will either use aluminum or steel, something like that. And it's kind of heavy, really hard to work with. And I use plexiglass. And I just want to do a quickie video and showing how I do it. First of all, I'm just using the stock instrument mounts here on my 500 Cali triple. And I just start out with just a regular piece of cardboard to kind of see where everything's going to fit, and figure out kind of your design. You can put this or that or up top or whatever, and just kind of get an idea of how everything fits. And I just do a kind of a rough copy of outline of it in cardboard, and then I can transfer that over to the plexiglass. I've already started this project, but that's when I decided to do a little how-to video. Once I took my cardboard tracing here, kind of however I wanted it. I just traced that onto just some scrap plexiglass. I like to use a thicker stuff, it's stronger. And I like plexiglass because it's a lot easier to work than trying to work with metal, especially when putting in holes and everything like that. You can actually do it with cutters and a Dremel and file really easy. So it's really simple to do this way. And it's nice and thick, so it's going to be strong. I mean, even in a crash it might break, but in a crash a metal one's going to bend anyway, unless it's really thick, and then it's going to be really heavy. This is just light, so it's not a huge deal here. But so I use just like anything else, I use a vibra cutter. It's real easy to use. This is a blade I use. You just go on, cut out. Just be careful. There'll be a little melting and stuff, but that's not a big deal. But I cut that out, and then I go over, and then as far as finishing the edges, these aren't totally finished yet, but I've just started on that. And you can sand these. It's Plexi is real easy to sand. And so now we're here to this part where it's beginning to take shape. I got some smoothing on the outside done, and the switch holes and the instrument holes. So we'll go over there and show you how that works. And now to my workbench from hell, from 10,000 projects. So here we are with a semi-finished piece. When I cut the holes, I like to use these step drills. This is kind of big. The other one's in my drill here. There it is. This is great for starting holes, and I did a bunch of them around here. Just with plexiglass, you have to be careful because if you try to force it too fast, it'll crack the plexiglass, and then you just have a mess and have to start over. But if you do it slow and let the steps go each step really easy, you'll get a little melting, but that's not a big deal. But you'll get all your holes done, and then with a Dremel and a cutter, I use where'd it go? Something like this, and you can just cut it out, round it out. And like I said, you can use the small ones for this. I use that to open these up, and then just a file. Just a square file, actually, somewhere around here. Just a square file to square up the corners, and then of course you want to double check your sizing and stuff like that. So switches fit in just fine. All 3 points. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but so I have my 3 switches for that. I have the hole for my tachometer, and I'll see if I can. Not a big deal, but I'll show you anyway. It's going to just, I can't hold the camera. But I just made that hole big enough for it to slide in. And then, of course, move it around. There we go. And that's how they just slip through there. And there's a lot of ways you can mount this. Since it's just my race bike, I just use a big hose clamp on the other side, and that just locks it in. But I pushed my tack off to the side because I like to do a lot of videos. If you've seen my videos, and with the tack up front, I have to use a real tall camera mount, so things vibrate a lot. So I just moved this off to the side, which isn't a big deal. I really don't watch the tack that much, but it's out of the way. So I'm going to have a shorter stand for my camera, so it's not up in the way there. So, but that's where I am now. I've got more finishing to do, and then I'll show you how the rest of it goes, and then how it looks mounted. Okay, done with the pre-finishing. Sanding block, fine sand, medium. Make sure you just get all the areas. I smoothed everything out so it was nice and round. Make sure you chamfer all holes really well and round out the outside portion, because you know there'll be stress fractures in plexiglass if you don't do that. So I ran these for years and never had one break other than me breaking it. So now everything's pretty much smoothed up, all roughed up with fine. So now it's ready for paint. So next step next. All right, got our first coat of black paint on. Now on the back you can see more plexiglass. Like I said, I get this at the plastic store, just in extra sheets, you know, cut-offs they call them, and they're only a few bucks. So what this is for basically is, I haven't got it painted yet, but if you put all your switches in, you can see there's nasty looking ends and all that kind of fun stuff. So I just make a little guard like that. Like I said, it's so much easier than working with aluminum or whatever. So when I bolt that down, on top, if you look, you'll just see this, and it's going to cover all the nasty stuff. Only wires will come out. So we're still pretty easy job, just a little bit more work. And so next we'll finish painting and labeling and all that fun stuff, and get the instruments and everything mounted. So that's it for this finished product. Instrument panel's all done. I've got tack mounted, speedometer, bicycle speedo, and my switches, which of course have to be properly labeled. So I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty clean. Looks like a thick piece of aluminum, which it isn't, which is kind of cool. And if you look out front, you can see I just have a big hose clamp holding that there, and then I made a little cover to hide the majority of the wiring and all the switches hanging out, so it looks clean. And so that's it. It's a pretty easy way to, as far as I'm concerned, to build a neat little instrument panel.